Doing this whole thing has been so crazy. I didn't think I was going to quit a really good job and go off and make jeans by myself for a decade.
We are in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, visiting the creative sanctuary of Eric Steffen, a master of handcrafted denim clothing. With him, we'll be talking about his craft, the challenges and successes of his business while making a pair of high-end custom jeans, so stay tuned for that.
Hey guys, come on in.
Thanks for inviting us to your studio. It looks really awesome, very neat.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for coming. I'm excited you guys are here.
Sure.
I've been in this space since 2017. I'm a third generation Brooklynite, both in terms of who I am and also in terms of the brand. Like our rear pocket arcuates are the Brooklyn Bridge, the front button is the Brooklyn Bridge, and then we even have the Brooklyn Bridge on the interior of the pockets. So everywhere you look, Brooklyn is represented. I started the business in 2014 when I was at my old job. I had a custom suit made. I got the suit, put it on. I have a soccer player's physique, so it was always difficult to get my measurements. And the suit just fit great. So I was really excited about it. So I asked the tailor, can you make me a pair of jeans just like this? And he said, I can, but I don't. So I thought, somebody should be working on that. I played around with the idea, kind of in the background for about a year. And then I finally decided just to quit my job and start making custom jeans myself. Every great pair of jeans starts off with great denim. Most of my denim these days is from Japan. A little bit is from the United States, from the one remaining plant. It's called Vidalia Mills in Louisiana. And then I get a little denim from Italy as well. The Japanese mills always remained small and continued innovating. And so their products were always incredibly high quality, but they were and are more expensive.
What is Selvedge?
Great question. So Selvedge comes from the term self-edge. It's a self-finished edge. And Selvedge looms are older looms that have a single wooden pick that run across the face of the loom. Horizontal thread is called the weft thread. The vertical thread is called the warp thread. Denim is a 3x1 weave, meaning that for every 3 indigo yarns you're seeing through the warp, you're seeing 1 white weft yarn that is running horizontally. That's why denim looks indigo on the outside and then white on the inside. And they're generally considered to have more character, beautiful fade potential. You can start out a pair of jeans that looks like this on day one. And by the way, all denim starts like this, just a very dark indigo. And over time, it fades down naturally to something like this. These two are the same exact fabrics. This is actually my pair that I've worn for about 2 years. And this is the denim when it's new. It's kind of like a fingerprint of your life. Really rare products that gets better with age, kind of like wine and leather. I think that's one of the reasons why people love denim so much. Denim comes from the term denim, meaning it's fabric from Nimes, France, but that it really started off in the American West, that for a long time it was just really the outfit of a worker, and it's spread into popular culture, and it's become the outfit of an American, and now almost just a global citizen at this point. I had sewn before, but it was in the 5th grade. I made a pillow. So I had a lot to learn when I started. And when I had that custom suit made, it really sparked something inside of me wanting to make custom jeans. Just jeans that fit the form, the human form better. It was like a seed was planted inside of me, and the seed started to germinate and grow. And I just started having all these ideas about how to make jeans, how to present the product to people, how to acquire customers. And it really felt like this organic process. When I traded finance for fashion, it seemed like a crazy thing because I was going from something that I was pretty good at to something that I knew nothing about. But it was just like I couldn't not do it. These notches that I'm marking are really important. They help the pattern pieces to line up like a jigsaw puzzle, all fitting together. So we'll just cut the pocket first. Whenever you cut, you want the bottom of the scissor to always be pressing against the table, and then you get a truer cut.
The learning curve, is it steep for this?
Unfortunately, it was steep and long. When I started, a good friend told me that she thought I could master making a pair of jeans in about 6 months, and it was more like 6 years. Even after 6 years, you realize that you're still learning stuff. I mean, I've been doing it almost 11 years now, and there are still some things that get introduced, and I say, oh, that's a better way to do it. If there's two parts of creation, there's the raw inspiration and there's learning to play scales. Some things just take hard work, and creating a pair of jeans takes a lot of hard work to be able to become really, really good at it. And I think that's where you become a great maker. Is you learn a craft, but you also learn patience for your craft as well. We put a hidden break in the rear pocket, and then it fades in like the roadway of the Brooklyn Bridge over time. I love to put in hidden details that people don't realize are there. I silk screen all of these things, inner pockets, and I think that most people will never know, will never look inside their jeans to see there's this beautiful silk screen of the Brooklyn Bridge and my brand. But I just like knowing that it's there. Just looking at the map of Brooklyn one day, and it became really obvious to me there's a dragon in there. I call it the Brooklyn Dragon. My mom, who's from Brooklyn, calls it the Brooklyn Turkey.
We see a lot of machines here.
I got these machines when I first started on this journey over 10 years ago. So there was actually a factory that unfortunately was going out of business in the Bronx, and they were auctioning off all these old machines. And what I didn't know was that some of the machines were basically defective. So you didn't have the opportunity to test them out. You just said, do you want this machine for $75? And I thought, oh my goodness, do I? And I bought way too many machines, and half of them didn't work. And they kind of became my problem for a couple of years, but I was able to work my way through them. So this is that hidden break that I was telling you about that creates the roadway of the bridge. So the trick here is just to line up the break with the arcuates. For me as a creative, the hardest part is just getting started. I tend to be more creative, more productive in afternoons and evenings, and mornings are just difficult for me to begin. And so my hack, my trick for moving through that is I first just need to recognize it when there's that resistance, and then I will stop. I will take one deep breath. Yeah, and it's happening quickly.
What is that knee piece?
Oh, that lifts the presser foot. It lifts the presser foot, and it has a secondary function that it releases tension on the tension disc. So here the presser foot comes up, and here you can see the disc open up just a little bit right here at the end, and so that allows you to pull the thread through very easily. When you sew the pocket together, you want the front of the pocket to come in anywhere from like 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Creates a little bit of room here, so it's easier to get your hand in. And then when it's actually on the body and is curved, you really don't see it as much. It'll lay flat. But that just allows a little bit more of a pocketed opening.
What is this one?
This is what's called a shell stitch. It's an overlock machine. And it creates a really pretty stitch. We want this piece of fabric hidden beneath this piece of fabric.
Will people ever see it?
No, but I will. And if you open up a pair of jeans and there's this piece of fabric that's sticking out, it just means the pattern making is off and I just no longer trust the entire garment. I think this curve is really smooth. This keystone is really nice. It's aligned perfectly at the top. Got a little bit of excess through here, which is what I want. So far we're 10 out of 10. Don't mess it up, Eric. Don't mess it up. So the front is constructed, but this is fine. But this side is even more fun. Yes. So now we'll go construct the back. This is a bar tack. It's going to do 42 stitches in less than 2 seconds. So here we go. That was 42 stitches. This is really tricky because we basically just want to catch this edge right here so that the cut portion of the fabric it doesn't fray. It's very tricky to catch this just a little bit, and then once we flip this over, we have a little bit of that pull through, and that's just about perfect.
So what's the deal with washes of raw jeans?
How to wash it?
Or how to not wash it?
How not wash it is for creating high contrast fades. The trick is not to wash it, but you do want to wash it after some point. What's crazy is that jeans really did start out as a workwear piece, but to create really beautiful fades, you know, you usually don't want to be at the construction site. I do have guys who are pretty hardcore, and the jean fades are beautiful, but the guys who do the desk jobs, who just wear them a lot, those fades end up being some of the best, because not only does the indigo fade over time, but the white thread and the cotton filaments stay white longer and brighter. So that really creates a beautiful high contrast fade. These are called honeycombs on the rear of the knee. This has been the most challenging machine to really learn to use. So this is a felled seam. So basically we're creating a seam that has 4 layers of fabric as this folds over. It's like 2 waves that are crashing into each other. It just takes time to learn the correct pressure, the correct tension. It's like you have to learn to listen to it. You know, it sounds silly, but like...
It's like a cello of your machines.
Yeah, you develop this relationship with the product, with the craft.
There we're good.
When I first showed up, there's a ton of graffiti outside, and I was concerned that my clients coming here would think that it was a seedy neighborhood, but I think that they get the vibe that there is creativity and passion, and yeah, it's just a fun place to have a business.
noticed that you don't have any signs outside. There's your studio
Right.
is here. Is there the reason behind it?
Fitted Underground is very much like a found product. We don't do advertising, and there's always been an underground vibe. Fitted because it's custom jeans, that's how I started, and then Underground because I started the business in my friend's basement. This is actually still like a subterranean unit where we're half underground, so an English basement, so I've kind of kept that going, but also the underground vibe is still very much alive with it. When people come here, it's kind of like a Denim Speakeasy, so they're pretty excited to open the door and be like, oh wow, I didn't know this was in here. So.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I went through a really deep depression for a lot of years. And I always wanted to do the Peace Corps. And every year I would ask, I'd kind of get quiet and be like, am I ready to go off and serve in the Peace Corps? It was just quiet. It's like, no. But then one year I asked, I remember I was in California going on a run and I asked, and there was this feeling inside that felt like confirmation, like, yes, like, why not? Then I just did. And so I've always kind of made decisions like that. So yes, building your own business is very challenging. It's harder than people expect. It's harder than I expected. There are times when I definitely have considered going in different directions, but I always come back to that kind of central idea of, trusting that something greater than myself and just being quiet and asking, and that's always led me to continue.
When I initially started making custom jeans, I was actually selling them for $50. Just anybody who would come to me, I was begging them to buy my poorly constructed jeans. There's just a lot that you have to learn over time. There's two ways to learn. Either go be an apprentice, which is amazing if you can find that, and if that's not available to you, you just have to learn it from the ground up. And so I had to learn it from the ground up. So I took classes in pattern making, I started sewing, and I just put one foot in front of the next. One of the cool things about this is that it's obviously a single needle all the way around, so we don't disrupt the stitch. The other patch is more securely fastened, and you can still put your waistband through it. It should look like one stitch, but it's actually two. Max, you ready for your big moment?
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
I'm scared to screw it up, though.
Well, I'm scared you're going to screw it up too. Just kidding. What we're going to do is we're going to take the rivet, we're going to put it up top. I've already done that. And then we put the post down the bottom. And just want to position the jeans correctly. So we want the rivet right in the middle of the double needle stitch. And then just like we're kicking a soccer ball. There it is. If you don't hit it hard enough, we can kick it again.
Okay.
So.
I'm holding my foot here.
Yep.
So Eric entrusted me with this thing. Big mistake.
Where are you going?
Where are you going?
I'm
I don't know where
away.
to put the rivets in.
I can't bear to watch this.
Oh, I know where. One is gonna go here, correct? Okay, there you go. One there. Is it magnetic?
It's not magnetic, but the tension will hold it in place.
Now it gets centered right here, correct?
Yep, you can do that one.
Yeah. And this, the round piece, it's not supposed to touch that stitch right here, so that fold, right?
That's right. So
Okay.
you don't want the rivet on the seam. You want it next to it.
Right here?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. I'm not sure if it's centered though. Okay, ready? 1, 2.
Yeah.
Did I do it?
Let's see.
Plunge.
I did it.
Good, you did it.
Is it too far?
No, it's
That's good?
perfect. Perfect.
It's perfect.
Couldn't have done it better myself.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'll do the final two.
Yes, please. Is it done?
It is done. We just finished up the latest pair of jeans.
Hooray!
Hooray! When I started this business, I went around to people who I really cared about, and I said, do you have any advice for me as I begin this? And my mother's advice was, whatever comes up for you in the business, never sacrifice your integrity. And I really held to that very tightly. And then the second aspect is to find something deep within yourself to remember the purpose of what you're doing. Because when things get hard, you have to come back to your why. Why are you doing what you're doing?